This is Weekend Update, and I'm Ariana O'Neill.
I'm Scott O'Neill, and here are our top stories.
With the outbreak of COVID-19, which had begun in the Wuhan province of China, this respiratory virus has spread rapidly throughout the world. It started with a man in the province supposedly eating a bat and contracting the disease. This flu-like virus is said to spread through coughing, sneezing, breathing, and any close contact. Since there is no cure yet, the CDC highly recommends wearing masks and social distancing at least 6 feet when in a public setting and trying to stay at home as much as possible. This just in. Breaking news, we head over to Scott.
Thank you, Ariana. During this very serious time of COVID, we must do everything that we can to keep each other safe. And the best way to do that outside of social distancing, staying at home, would be to wear a mask.
Thank you, Scott. That was very informative and very interesting. Even though there is no cure yet to the coronavirus, there are tests that one can take to determine whether they have the virus or not. These tests use cotton swabs to take a sample from your nose. For more information, we head over to Scott.
Ariana, you are correct. Testing is the way to solve this epidemic. I'm right outside the epicenter in New York. I've got the Cuomo brothers. They're going to show you how it's done.
Is it true that this was the swab that the nurse was actually using on you, and that at first it went into your nose and disappeared, so that in scale, this was the actual swab?
That was very interesting and painful. I gotta tell you, Ariana, I'd prefer a better method than sticking a 6-inch swab up my nose.
You seem to be going through something. We're going to let you figure out your technical difficulties. But as you were saying, as the world reopens, many fear a second wave of the virus is soon to come, while still not having a vaccine. While vaccine trials have begun, Arizona State University has found a new testing method. This method involves taking a person's saliva, which they can use to determine if they have the virus or not. This new method will lower the cost of testing and the fear of having something stuck up your nose. As we begin to reopen, the only real way our nation will go back to normal is if testing increases and/or we get a vaccine. In other news, an update on the murder of George Floyd. There has been an outburst in riots and protests across the nation. These uprisings fight against the constant and continuous racism many face in this world. While these riots and protests grow, many police officers in the police department argue that there is no systemic racism. For more, over to Scott, who is with a Philadelphia police officer, Richard Johnson.
Ariana, again, with concerns over George Floyd's death, there are preparations that are happening with the police department, as seen by video, as well as the protesters, which are not to be confused with the looters.
Thank you, Scott. That is very disturbing. That has been our weekend update. Thank you all for watching and have a great weekend.